Episode 56, KF October 20, 2023. Vermont biomass plans and stop biomass. Gaza's forced wood smoke pollution. In episode 56, KF, the locations of the articles about wood burning excerpted in this episode are Louisiana, Vermont, British Columbia, Gaza, Macedonia, and Singapore. Headlines from New Zealand about winter pollution from indoor residential wood burning and from the United Kingdom about Drax and about regulating indoor residential wood burning, and the episode. Louisiana, Jacksonville. Father arrested after New Orleans house fire, killed his 3 children, police say. Jacksonville Journal-Courier Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity and relationship to Residents Against Wood Smoke Emission Particulates Corporation, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Multiple houses set on fire in Hull over the weekend. Wood-burning stove believed behind. Jacksonville house fire burned the house down. The mother 3 children in Louisiana died as a result of a house fire that was allegedly set by their father, New Orleans police said. The New Orleans Police Department explained in a news release that the tragic incident allegedly occurred as a result of an apparent domestic dispute between the children's parents. The NOPD and New Orleans Fire Department responded to the home shortly after midnight on Wednesday, October 18, 2023, after the children's mother called 911. She reported that their father, Joseph Washington, Sr., 29, was threatening to burn the house down. During the call for help, the mother told dispatchers, "He's screaming on the phone. I hear the kids screaming," per WVUE. The mother was not home when the incident took place. The NOFD found 2 of the children, a 5-year-old girl and a 7-year-old boy, upon entry to the home. Both children were transported to a nearby hospital by New Orleans Emergency Medical Services, where they succumbed to their injuries about an hour later. As firefighters continued to work on keeping the fire from extending to neighboring areas and continued to search the home, the 3rd child, a 3-year-old boy, was found deceased near the center of the dwelling. According to the NOPD, their official cause of death will be determined by a coroner. The NOFD explained in their report that 17 NOFD apparatuses and support vehicles, carrying 46 fire operations personnel, were used to bring this incident under control at 12:40 a.m. The prime suspect and was apprehended at an exit at I-610 East. The NOPD reported that Washington, Sr. attempted to escape officers by jumping off the overpass. Following his capture, he charged with 3 counts of second-degree murder, 3 counts of second-degree cruelty to a juvenile and 1 count of aggravated arson. Vermont, Montpelier, Middlebury College, wood-burning heating plant protests. Middlebury College is a private liberal arts college in Middlebury, Vermont. Founded in 1800 by Congregationalists, Middlebury was the first operating college or university in Vermont. The college currently enrolls 2,773 undergraduates from all 50 states and 74 countries and offers 45 majors in the arts and humanities as well as joint engineering programs. 6. In addition to its undergraduate liberal arts program, the school also has graduate schools, the Middlebury College Language Schools, the Bread Loaf School of English, and the Middlebury Institute of International Studies at Monterey, as well as its CV Star Middlebury Schools Abroad International Programs. https:// www.scvendis.vt.com/vermont-new-thinking-imperils-vermont-wood-fueled-energy-market/content?mark. In a warming world, new thinking imperils Vermont's wood-fueled energy market. October 9, 2019. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity and relationship to Residents Against Wood Smoke Emission Particulates Corporation, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Wood chip piles outside McNeil. Middlebury College built a $12 million biomass wood burning plant on its leafy campus in 2009, 14 years ago, enabling the school to burn wood chips to heat buildings, generate electricity, and declare itself carbon neutral. 5 years later, in 2013, 10 years ago, the city of Montpelier and the state of Vermont spent $20 million to replace the oil-fired burners in its heating plant with wood-burning boilers, expanding the system to provide steam and hot water to 37 government and private buildings downtown. Enthusiasm for the renewable energy had cooled, however, by the time Dartmouth College rolled out plans for its own $200 million biomass project earlier this year, 10 years later, in 2023. So the elite college's plan to embrace a technology that would increase carbon emissions ran into criticism. Dartmouth alumni who were prominent climate scientists joined the chorus of hippies and tree huggers opposing the project. In a July 5, 2023, letter, 3 climate researchers argued that biomass was a dangerous substitute. They warned that the wood-burning project at Dartmouth College, located in Hanover, New Hampshire, close to Vermont, would increase emissions. We urge you to avoid making a heavy investment in a mistaken assumption that a wood-fired heating plant will be of benefit to the college or the world, they wrote. The fierce opposition caught the college off guard. In late September 2023, Dartmouth officials announced they would move forward with efficient upgrades, but reassess the switch to biomass. There was a rush to develop the biomass energy sector maybe 5 or 10 years ago, but now there is a slowing down and pulling back as people have understood some of the pros and cons. Bill Keaton. Vermont's emissions are on the rise again, after a decade of decline, threatening the state's goal of cutting them to half of 1990 levels by 2028. Biomass often generates more emissions than fossil fuels. Bill Keaton, a University of Vermont professor of forest ecology and forestry and director of its carbon dynamics lab, said there was a rush to develop the biomass energy sector maybe 5 or 10 years ago, but now there is a slowing down and pulling back as people have understood some of the cons. https://www.stopbtvbiomass.org. Home McNeil, the Science Thermal Energy Ordnance News and Events. Get involved. Stop VT Biomass. McKibben, there could not be a more stupid or suicidal way to produce energy than biomass. Internationally known author and climate activist Bill McKibben joined us October 19 for a screening of the film Burned, Are Trees the New Coal?, and made his feelings known about the expansion of Burlington's McNeil Biomass Power Plant. Get involved. Click here to join the effort. Sign the petition, say no to dirty energy. Stop the McNeil Biomass Plant expansion. Join the rising chorus demanding the Burlington City Council and UVM Medical Center say no to district energy. We deserve real climate solutions, not more pollution and greenwashing. You can sign even if you're not from Burlington, or even not from Vermont. Vermont, Burlington. Not zero fast. Burlington Electric Department's flawed district heat proposal put on blast. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity and relationship to residents against wood smoke emission. Particulates Corporation, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Burlington, Vermont, September 24, 2023. Ratepayers and residents disrupted Burlington Electric Department's bed net zero fest yesterday with a puppet representing the proposed district heat steam pipe. Participants held banners reading "No McNeil Expansion" and "McNeil Power Plant, Dirtier Than Coal," while handing out flyers to Net Zero Fest attendees. The festival was poorly attended and disruptors matched or outnumbered guests. More photos. Who is Stop VT Biomass? Stop VT Biomass is a coalition of local residents who are concerned that biomass, biofuels, and renewable natural gas, RNG, are being promoted as solutions to the climate crisis when they are in fact carbon-intensive, polluting fuels that would increase greenhouse gas emissions, adversely impact public health, and harm ecosystems both locally and globally. We are deeply disappointed that the so-called Affordable Heat Act, which relies heavily on biomass, liquid biofuels, and RNG, was recently made into law, but we will continue to fight for the most just transition possible with other bills, and as the AHA goes to the PUC rulemaking phase. We are also focused on Burlington City ordinances to eliminate polluting biofuels from the heat sources permissible in new buildings, and building momentum to stop the proposed McNeil steam pipe. Sign the letter, Get Dirty, Polluting Biofuels Out of the Affordable Heat Act. https://forms.gle/fxc2na3 hertzxc1g15y7 Join Vermont environmental and social justice organizations and hundreds of individuals in calling for Vermont's legislature to remove biomass, liquid biofuels, and renewable natural gas from the measures eligible for credits under S5, the Affordable Heat Act. Click the link above to read the detailed letter and a current list of signatories. Canada, British Columbia, Vancouver. Climate advocates gather outside Minister Wilkinson's office with message from nearly stand earth burned for electricity. The industry says that burning wood pellets is a climate-friendly, carbon-neutral alternative to fossil fuels, but climate advocates gather outside Minister Wilkinson's office with message from nearly 100,000 people, stop clear-cutting forests for energy burned abroad. Climate advocates gather outside Minister Wilkinson's office with message from nearly 100,000 people, stop clear-cutting forests for energy burned abroad. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity and relationship to residents against wood smoke emission. Particulates Corporation, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. October 19, 2023. As part of the International Day of Action on Big Biomass, environmental advocates in the Vancouver area joined the global call urging governments to stop burning forests for electricity. Tsleil-Waututh, Musqueam, and Squamish territories, Vancouver, BC. Environmental advocacy groups and climate activists gathered outside Minister John Wilkinson's North Vancouver office today to deliver a strong message from nearly 100,000 people. It's time for the Canadian government to stop subsidizing the forest biomass industry. The event was part of the International Day of Action on Big Biomass, with groups in at least 15 countries on 6 continents sounding the alarm ahead of COP28 on November 30 in Dubai, where the global renewable energy target will be on the agenda. Images from the event are available for media use here. Images of Pinnacle pellet plants and log piles in Smithers and Burns Lake can be found here. Canada is currently the second largest exporter of forest biomass in the world. The forest biomass industry, including international energy giant Drax that operates processing facilities in British Columbia, ships wood pellets made from forests in Canada to overseas power utilities, primarily to the United Kingdom and Japan, where they are burned for electricity. The industry says that burning wood pellets is a climate-friendly, carbon-neutral alternative to fossil fuels, but climate experts worldwide have repeatedly disproved this claim. On top of this, there is clear evidence that wood pellets are produced from logged whole trees from primary and old-growth forests in British Columbia. Burning wood pellets emits more CO2 at the stack than coal, before even counting the loss of carbon from the destruction and degradation of forests, said Tegan Hansen, senior forest campaigner at environmental advocacy organization Stand Earth. Canada wants to be seen as a climate leader, but we cannot burn our way out of the climate crisis. A true climate solution means we must protect standing forests, especially now when we need to be cutting carbon, not trees. In a 2022 investigative report, Stand.Earth demonstrated that the governments of Canada and British Columbia base their support for the wood pellet export industry on faulty carbon accounting, poor scientific evidence, weak regulations, and land use planning that fails to protect old-growth forests and threatened species habitat. The report featured satellite and drone imagery proving that whole trees from primary and old-growth forests in British Columbia are logged and used to produce wood pellets that are burned abroad for energy. The growing wood pellet export sector risks business as usual industrial operations on Indigenous territories, with varying levels of collaborative management and consent-based decision-making across the country. Looking ahead to COP28, climate experts have also pointed out that the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC's carbon accounting mechanism is deeply flawed, because it does not count the emissions produced when biomass is burned at the smokestack, effectively letting wealthy countries in the global north shirk responsibility for reducing emissions. After an unprecedented, devastating wildfire season in Canada, it's essential that we protect forests and name biomass for what it is, a false climate solution, said Richard Robertson, forest campaigner at Stand.Earth. Canada should urgently revise national carbon accounting methods, in line with recommendations from leading scientists, and end public subsidies for the wood pellet export industry. Federal and provincial governments must work in full partnership with Indigenous nations, adhere to inherent and treaty rights, and prioritize full implementation of the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People, UNDRIP, relating to all forestry, including biomass, or the growth of the wood pellet sector could further erode land rights. Stand.Earth is calling on Minister Wilkinson and the Canadian government to stop subsidizing forest biomass, ensure forests are not logged to produce wood pellets, and support international efforts to close carbon accounting loopholes that have propped up biomass as a false climate solution. For more on the International Day of Action on Big Biomass, click here. Catherine Samogas, Canada Forest Communications Specialist, Stand.Earth, English 778-653-2303. Catherine.Samogas at Stand.Earth, et. Tegan Hansen, Senior Forest Campaigner, Stand.Earth, English, French, Tegan at Stand.Earth, pt. Canada, British Columbia, Grank Forks. Debris pile burning planned for Grand Forks area. Boundary Creek Times excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity and relationship to Residents Against Wood Smoke Emission Particulates Corporation, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Boundary Creek Times wood debris near Grand Forks and Christina Lake as early as this Friday. Grand Forks residents may see large plumes of smoke. BC Wildfire Service announced they will burn around 100 piles of wood debris near Grand Forks and Christina Lake as early as this Friday. Photo BCWS/Twitter. Grand Forks residents may see large plumes of smoke in the coming days as the BC Wildfire Service is assisting BC Timber Sales with firefighting personnel to burn up to 100 piles of wood debris. This project is scheduled to start as early as this Friday, and will be over 2 sites located in the Moody Creek area west of Christina Lake, and the Pass Creek area north of Grand Forks, according to a news release from BC Wildfire Service. Smoke from this burn may be visible from the communities of Grand Forks, Greenwood, and surrounding areas. Anyone driving along Highway May 3rd also see smoke. Burning will go ahead if conditions allow for the smoke to dissipate. The Southeast Fire Center extends from the U.S. border in the south to Mica Dam in the north, and from the Okanagan Highlands and Monashee Mountains in the west, to the BC-Alberta border in the east. To report a wildfire, unattended campfire, or open burning violation, call 1-800-663-5555 toll-free or *5555 on a cell phone. Download the BC Wildfire Service app or visit www.bcwildfire.ca. Canada, British Columbia. BC Wildfire Service burning 450 piles of wood debris north of Apex Mountain Resort. Next week, 450 piles of wood debris to be burned near Apex Mountain Resort. Global News. The piles are slated to be burned October 23rd to 27th, and smoke may also be visible in Headley, Olalla, and Penticton. Gaza bakers turn to wood-burning ovens amid electricity outage. Yahoo Sport UK excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity and relationship to residents against wood smoke emission Particulates Corporation, a 501c3 non-profit organization. Bakers in Rafah, Gaza, returned to using wood-burning ovens on October 19 due to an electricity shortage in the area, according to the Palestinian bakers in Rafah, Gaza. Returned to using wood-burning ovens on October 19 due to an electricity shortage in the area, according to the Palestinian news agency WVUE. Storyful October 19, 2023. Bakers in Rafah, Gaza, returned to using wood-burning ovens on October 19 due to an electricity shortage in the area, according to the Palestinian news agency WVUE. Israeli officials ordered a complete siege on the region, cutting off food, fuel, and electricity in response to a major Hamas assault in southern Israel on October 7. WVUE released a video, they said, showed civilians forced to return to wood-burning ovens for baking bread and other food. Macedonia citizens plead for government intervention amidst life-threatening conditions. Yahoo News. This is especially problematic in winter when pollution from wood-burning stoves is added to the mix. It feels and tastes like burnt plastic. Citizens plead for government intervention amidst life-threatening conditions. It feels and tastes like burnt plastic. Excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity and relationship to residents against wood smoke emission Particulates Corporation, a 501c3 non-profit organization. October 19, 2023. Residents of North Macedonia's capital city of Skopje are pleading with the government to do more to improve air quality in the city. Skopje, according to The Guardian, is home to 3 of the most polluted districts on the continent, and living there is becoming increasingly difficult. What's happening? Toxic smog from industry and dirty fuel pollution lingers in Skopje because of how the city has been developed. Set among a hilly and mountainous landscape, the warm air from factories and vehicles rises but gets trapped by the cooler air that formulates around the surrounding peaks. This is especially problematic in winter when pollution from wood-burning stoves is added to the mix. It feels and tastes like burnt plastic, citizen Dragana Jersanoska told The Guardian when describing the clouds of pollution that blight the city. Why is this so concerning? The Guardian's analysis detailed how particulate matter smaller than 2.5 microns, also known as PM2.5, is particularly prevalent in Skopje. These tiny particles can cause a number of health issues since they are small enough to be absorbed by the blood through the lungs, leading to potential organ problems. According to the California Air Resources Board, even short-term exposure to PM2.5 particles can lead to premature mortality and heart and lung problems. Citing data from the World Health Organization, CARB said, PM2.5 is associated with the greatest proportion of adverse health effects related to air pollution. A 2018 study published in the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health, summarized in The Guardian, noted residents in Skopje were more likely to die 2 or 3 years earlier than expected because of the high pollution levels. What impact could cutting pollution have? Further findings from the study revealed that cutting PM2.5 pollution to the EU's recommended levels could avoid 1 of 5 hospital visits related to heart or lung problems. One of the ways to do so would be to improve the heat efficiency of homes in the city. But with a substantial population of poor residents in Skopje, many turn to poor-quality fuel or burning trash to heat their homes when temperatures plummet, which makes the smoke pollution much worse. Citizens have tried to appeal to the government by using an app to show air quality data, but so far, no breakthrough has been made with officials. Join our free newsletter for cool news and cool tips that make it easy to help yourself while helping the planet. Singapore. Is a burning smell a good sign of haze situation? Mothership.sg excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity and relationship to residents against wood smoke emission Particulates Corporation, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. According to the National Environment Agency, NEA, the smell is usually, but not always, accompanied by an increase in the 1-hour PM 2.5 October 19, 2023. If you notice a burning smell in the air these days, it may not necessarily be true that the air quality has worsened. If your nose picks up the burning smell at night, it could be due to the fact that the air pollutants are not diluted and dispersed quickly due to weaker winds. Cooler temperatures at night can also restrict the pollutants from dispersing upwards, as compared to daytime. Read more here. New Zealand, Invercargill and Alexandra. Pockets of poorer air quality in Invercargill and Alexandra, new a study suggests. Stuff.co.nz Talbot said the best way for households to keep warm and reduce air pollution was by burning dry wood hot and bright, not banking fires overnight, and United Kingdom. Drax faces penalty after Canadian biomass plant fails to submit pollution report. East London and West Essex Guardian series wood-burning plant in Yorkshire. It comes after a BBC Panorama investigation alleged that some of the wood comes from primary forests that had. United Kingdom, Brighton. Brighton Council could fine people £1,000 if they use wood burners wrongly. The Argus-exempt appliances are only legal for use in a smoke control area with authorized fuels. For example, if the appliance is only exempt for burning wood.